welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to get into Put a Ring on It. Season 3 finale. We know that this was not really the finale because the finale was last week when Kenneth showed his ass, but let's get into it anyway. Before we get started, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel, and let's do it. Whew, excuse me, sorry, I was kind of rude. So we open at Dr. Nicole's office. Everybody's sitting there together, waiting. Everybody's seated except for Shorty and Kenneth. We know why. Shorty and Kenneth, they finally arrive separately. Shorty walks in, she sits down, and then shortly behind her, Kenneth walks in. Everybody in the room can feel the energy. Obviously, something is not right. Dr. Nicole asked them to tell everybody, tell everybody what's going on. Give everybody an update. So Shorty goes in and tells everybody how Kenneth her are done. He was disrespectful, calling her all out of her name, and he went in and it turned into a fight. It was one of those fights that had everybody in the room very uncomfortable. So, but they kind of were enjoying this tea at the same time. Like it was one of those car wreck kind of things, like, oh, don't do it, but ooh, child. But anyway, Dr. Nicole shut that down. I don't know what the vibe was really with Dr. Nicole and Shorty. It's funny because when these people do their lives, then we're getting all these different parts of the story that we don't know about. So I caught Shorty on live this weekend, and she brought up some things, like she talked about the fact that Dr. Nicole didn't give her a one-on-one. I feel like Dr. Nicole probably knew they were on bullshit. I feel like once Dr. Nicole peeped that there wasn't really no relationship going on here, she probably let it go. She did have a one-on-one with Kenneth, but probably to see is there more to this dude? Because that's what I was thinking. When you have somebody as well-spoken as Shorty and as elevated as she likes to call herself, and I don't have a problem with Shorty one way or the other. Everybody, I feel like, sorry y'all, I feel like I'm always adjusting things, but it's annoying. Okay, that's better. Okay, anyway, I feel like a lot of people don't like Shorty because she presents as a very intelligent individual. And then we look at Kenneth, who presents as exactly what he is. She says he likes women that are not on his level, not on his same level. Maybe, and that's something that Kenneth has to figure out. But I think Dr. Nicole probably did a one-on-one with him to see what is it? Is there more to him than this clowning and buffoonery that happens in her office? So when you have somebody like Kenneth who is clearly in a different lane, I don't like to, make it seem like it's better or worse, just not in the same lane. If you got somebody like Kenneth who's not in the same lane with Shorty, then he should probably be seeking out a relationship with somebody who is in his same lane, because then you can enjoy each other's company and not have somebody, what you feel like is putting you down. Kenneth needs to get his shit together. She said he works. So, she said repeatedly that he has jobs. So then she also said that he just didn't like paying the bills. I don't know what any of that was. Anyway, like I said, I think that's a big reason why people don't like Shorty, because I think they feel like she was, in a way, all along, she knew he wasn't going to be able to keep up with her. That being said, that's not an excuse for him to be stealing her personal information. She also said on her live that he steals her banking information to cash app himself the bill money that he paid. How many times, you're gonna do that for 3 years? This is why people are side-eyeing you, Shorty. You're gonna do that for 3 years, because the first time you undo something in my bank account, because you said it that's what he does. So it wasn't the first time. If you're in a relationship with someone who's stealing from you, according to you, that's why people are looking at you away. Because then what the hell, What? Shorty. Anyway, it's not about them. They got kicked out because they was arguing and they broke up. She basically told them that they didn't learn anything from this experience, and if they don't like work on themselves, they're gonna take the same nonsense into the next relationship. True that. Especially when I feel like in this situation, both parties don't feel like they have anything to fix. Shorty thinks she's good, that Kenneth has all the problems, and Kenneth thinks he's good, and Shorty doesn't appreciate him. So, you know, like I said, maybe they should just pick different types of individuals to be linking up with. Dr. Nicole did offer to meet with them separately. So when Shorty was on her live saying that Dr. Nicole didn't have a one-on-one with her, she did give you that opportunity, because she gave you that opportunity to talk to her to heal yourself. Wasn't no healing that relationship. Everybody could see it. We all could see it from the very first episode. We were like, you know, what's happening here? Anyway. She, like I said, she offered to give them, you know, counseling separately if that's what they wanted, but other than that, go ahead and bounce. And Shorty sat there and waited for Kenneth to be all the way gone before she left the building, which says a lot. Shorty looked amazing, by the way. Shorty came in there looking like she just broke up with her boyfriend. Like, she looked super duper cute. Like, all right, bye. I thought it was odd though, like Dr. Nicole's reaction, just because if somebody is feeling like they need to wait until he leaves the building, that means she was definitely avoiding conflict. I don't know why Dr. Nicole was acting irritated. Like, for some reason, I was getting a vibe for her where she was like, you don't need to do nothing with your clothes, just get the hell out. Like, she was undoing the mic from her clothes, and she basically got kicked out the building. So I thought that was weird. You know, if I'm avoiding a confrontation, even if it's just, I don't want to argue with him, I don't even want to talk to him. So let him just go, and then I'll go. And I didn't see nothing wrong with that. So, you know, maybe Dr. Cole don't like Shorty. Maybe there's more we don't know about. Shay and Alfonso talk about their date. Shay was at that excited that Alfonso dressed up for her, and I get it. They've been in a relationship for 3 years. She probably gets Alfonso like in sweats and tanks and titties out and all of that, and not putting in effort. I think all women, when you're in a relationship, like, and I, you know, big up to couples that have a date night and stick to their date night. Like, it doesn't always have to be just going, you know, something so extravagant, going to the movies, whatever you're doing for date night. But I think every woman like wants to like get dressed up and get taken out the same way they used to before you were in a relationship. So she's, you know, she wants him to put in some effort. And then seeing him, now I know why she was so irritated when he was going on the other dates and he was getting all off fly. She was like, what is that about? You know, I gotta remind a nigga, I suppose. She probably sees that a lot because he's on the road. So he's out on the road, like Versace'd up and blinged out and Gucci'd up, and she gets home, he gets home, and she gets sweatpants or what have you, sweaty. She gets sweaty, Alfonso. Shay said they discussed the changes that needed to be made, and they were on the road to forgiveness. Okay. I mean, I suppose she would have to forgive him for, you know, his hoe-ish behavior. I don't know what he needs to forgive her for, so maybe she's on the road to forgiveness, but you know, it's a plus, because in order for you to move forward in that relationship, you're gonna have to be forgiving him for all the shit that's popped off in the last 3. I mean, I would imagine, I'm not a doctor, but I would imagine the first step is at least acknowledging what, you know, what it is you need to do. But Shay and Alfonso, they were talking real big, this last episode. Like they were just so encompassed with the program and the process all in the last, they had epiphanies, both of them. They understand everything now. So, they're gonna have to put that big talk into action. Dr. Nicole told them that, you don't take baggage into a marriage. And that's all the stuff that mostly Shay will need to let go of. She's very much focused on that baby mama and the baby mama knowing her place. She said, if you're gonna move forward, you gotta forgive the past. And basically, and that's not for him, that's for you, because once you let that go and put it behind you, which, you're not gonna forget, but you do get to a place where his current actions are what you're basing things on, and not bringing up all the way he used to act, in the past, if in fact he decides to make a change like he says he is. But let's see what happens. We won't, but I have my doubts. Oh, Fonzo says he wants one big happy family. He wants to, everybody to just get along. And that's really hard when there's crossover, because now you want two people to get along who have issue with each other, because basically they're fighting over you. And because you have not broken up with anyone, you have two girlfriends, Fonzo, that's what you have. And you kind of broke up with one on the phone, but I don't feel like she feels like it's over. Alfonso and Shay have been together for 3 years, so that's a long time for them to have built up this animosity towards each other. And how long ago was it? Because based on that phone call, your baby mama says she's got things still hanging and dangling, and feelings and emotions still unhealed. So I guess we'll find out that information. I guess we'll find out that information at the at the reunion when the real tea comes out. Shay says she's not going to hold Alfonso accountable for anybody else's actions that they may be holding on for the next 15 or 20 years. And she's not wrong about that. I feel like, she was talking to you, baby mama. At the end of the day, if Fonzo tells you that Fonzo has a fiance, like baby mama, seems like he's moving on. This is the thing about that. I feel like with the mother of his child, if it wasn't Shay, it's probably not going to be you. For Fonzo, you are the past. You and him have a child together, and that's that. He kind of didn't he let things linger on, and probably because he can get away with more shit, honestly, with you, or get away with not doing certain things. As long as he's still sleeping with you. You said we're great at co-parenting. You said that out of your mouth. So you should probably just focus on that and let that be, because he's got a whole nother thing going on over here. But like I said, if Fonzo, you have two girlfriends, it ain't gonna be easy to get them to like each other, because they already hate each other. And she could still be holding on for the next 20 years. So don't make that Alfonso's issue, unless he's still feeding into whatever feelings that she has. I think Alfonso needs to have a conversation with his mother. I think his mother is a big part of the problem. Not just with the baby mother, but in general. Alfonso probably takes care of her. And whatever, she got going on over there, I don't know these people. I'm just assuming or speculating based on the way Alfonso acts. I wouldn't want my son to have a girlfriend, fiance, and not want to bring her around. I wouldn't. I have a son, adult son. If he's got a girlfriend that he really, really likes, I don't want to not know her. That's selfish and weird. Now, if he's still my son doesn't have any kids. But if he did, and he had a child with someone, and he was dibbling and dabbling, I feel like as his mother, I'm gonna tell him, get your shit together. Pick which one of these girls you're gonna be with. But I'm not gonna treat the new girl like I don't want to have nothing to do with her. That's crazy as hell. So I feel like Alfonso's mother is making his life much more difficult than it has to be. And then the relationship with the kid's mother is just another layer to the stress in his life. So Otis and Charlie. Dr. Nicole asked Otis how was his third date. This is so silly with these two on this day. And he said it was smooth. It wasn't smooth. It was downright rude. You were rude. You wasted that lady's time, but okay. She asked if him going out with Sheree was more of a tit for tat thing. And he said he don't remember, like, I don't remember who decided to go on the date first. Was that me? You know, he knew exactly who decided to go on the date first. He did, but anyway. Dr. Nicole asked Charlie, how was her date? Charlie said Chris made her feel appreciated, like he recognized how dope a chick she is. Otis says, basically, she getting appreciation from people that she's not cussing out. And it doesn't matter what Charlie says. Instead of him like acknowledging her feelings, he insults her, like as if the only reason why people are complimenting you is because, you know, you're not cussing them out. He's so antagonistic. It has to suck to try to like get through a day with this nigga just wanting to be like, oh, that's pretty color blue. That's not blue. That's aqua blue. You know, nigga, Jesus. Everybody, like, honestly, like when he said that, everybody kind of snickered because they were like, you sound so stupid right now. Time the only reason why they're complimenting her is because she's not cussing them out. Bonzo's shaking his head like this therapy ain't working on him. It worked perfectly fine on me. I have been therapied. I'm fixed. I'm better. I know all the stuff now. Anyway, Charlie is sitting up there crying. I don't know if she's got real tears or what she's feeling because her and Otis be on the same shit. I think she's just a better crier than he is. I want to feel for Charlie, but I'm getting, you know, this you're on some bullshit too with Charlie because these two are exhausting. They really are. They really are. I've never seen two people who maybe they do belong together. Maybe I've been seeing this shit completely wrong the whole time. Charlie says she just wants him to understand. And she's tired of arguing. And the thing is, Charlie, he does understand. He understands perfectly clear. He just wants to be an asshole. He just wants to be like an asshole because he thinks it's fun to sit there and watch you cry. The only reason why he reacted the way he did is because people were standing there like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. See, that's because he had an audience and he had a real quick like pretend like he has emotions, which is weird because I think like he really has to pretend like he doesn't really know how to feel things. And that makes me wonder why you want to marry somebody who doesn't know how to feel things. What kind of father you think he gonna be since the cat is out of the bag? I hope y'all don't have a daughter because poor girl. Good luck with trying to getting emotion, you know, and love from her daddy, who clearly hates women, including his mother. I'm just saying. Dr. Nicole tells this clown that she's like, Charlie pretty much laid it out for you what she wanted from you. And you come up with reasons not to give it to her. Yeah, he does. He does it for fun. She tells Charlie, if this is where it is now, what do you think is gonna be like in the marriage? What do you think forever is gonna be different? And Charlie is sitting there like, yeah, I guess that's something I have to think about. We all want to know why you think it's going to be different because he hasn't done nothing different from day one. when he sat there and ate a whole dinner and watched you cry at the table and looked so satisfied. Like that's the whole mission. That's what he was trying to get to the whole time. And here you go again, crying at the therapy session, and he's feeling like that's what I needed. Now I could be, now I could rub her on her shoulder because I broke her down, and I'll rub her on her shoulder only because like there's people here and I'll look weird if I don't. So then they send Alfonso and Otis ring shopping. Alfonso clearly has a bigger budget than Otis, and he's excited because this is what he does. We know because we look at all the diamonds and watches and stuff that he wears, on these dates. So we know this is not his first rodeo. And we also know that when he goes in that diamond store, if he gonna give one to Shay, that he better come correctly. Otherwise, she gonna send him right back over there where he got it from. But I think Alfonso like enjoys it. Like it's not like for him, it's not pressure. He's like, this is, like he enjoys, he loves the flash. And he wants this lady to be flash just like him. So he really seemed like he was having a good time. In a weird way, I don't know. I enjoy Alfonso. His energy is just light. They're talking back and forth, and Otis says to Alfonso that he's done arguing. And Alfonso's like, I mean, that's part of it. You're not going to have a relationship without arguing, but you can just handle it different, which that's part of the tools that he got from this whole process. So it's good to know that he's at least thinking that way. Like I said, we'll see if his actions back up with his words, but at least he's, consumed it into his brain. Because what's his name? If Otis consumed anything, it's just for him to remix it and use it as a form of manipulation. Alfonso is just way more accepting to the process, but Alfonso is not trying to break his lady down necessarily. He just wants to get away with what he wants to get away with. I mean, and I hate to say have your cake and eat it too, because what the hell am I going to do with cake if I'm not eating it? So yeah, he just wants what he wants, and he wants it all, and he can't have it all. He wants cake and pie. Otis admits to being stubborn, and what did this fool say? He said he stands on what he thought was right at the time, but he could have said things a little different. And that's what I'm talking about with Otis. Like, he's not ever going to admit to being wrong. Instead of saying, I was acting stubborn, he said selfish. And then right behind that, he said, I stand on what I thought was right at the time, which means whether I'm right or wrong, I'm going to still be right. I just should have said things differently. Girl, congratulations on your life. So Dr. Nicole meets with Shay. She, wants to know like what's going on, where are you at with this whole process? And Shay says she's holding true to herself. Shay says if she's not happy with the situation, she's not wavering, but she wants to communicate that and work through things until both parties come to an understanding, which means that she, again, like she's taking it in and storing it at some point, the same way as Alfonso is. As far as them being married, I don't even hate them as a couple necessarily. I just feel like sometimes you need a little more time to heal. I don't know when they're planning on getting married, but for her to get that whole relationship that she wants with his family, that's going to take time. And I guess that's the one big thing. They don't ever talk about the other stuff he does, like necessarily about him being out in the streets. So we don't know like what she feels about that or where she stands with that, because she keeps leaning on this whole mother of his child and his mother not, letting her in. So we'll see how they put that into play. Let's hope she really means that. Shay said Alfonso's listening to her, and that's making her feel better, in the part where they're communicating. And she said even if he doesn't have the answer, he admits that. And I don't know how much time is going on between these visits with Dr. Nicole, but if that's if they are actually putting in, their relationship, the tools they've learned to communicate with each other, then they can only get in a better place. Like he said, they're gonna argue and fight, and that's a part of life. But if you figure your way out through it, because once you get married to somebody, I mean, you're supposed to be doing that forever. You can't just be like, never mind, I don't want it. Whoo! I feel like Shay and his mother and his baby mother had Alfonso so stressed. Um, he needed these tools to figure it out, because this man gets so nervous that he gets drenched in sweat when it's time for him to confront things. Honestly, he might and I don't know, like, he's a player. I just feel like he has trained himself to charm his way out of situations rather than confront them head on. And just, he's not a confrontational guy. That's why he be laughing, because he's just like, oh my God, this is so stressful. Poor Fonzo. Anyway, not poor Fonzo, but poor Fonzo. Last week I said Shay is acting like Fonzo is the only one with the issue and that she doesn't have any issues. And she said she realizes that her thought process is or her thought pattern is not the only one at play. It's not the only one that exists. And that's big, because it just felt like before she was on some this is what it is. These are my feelings. I'll go jump down and smack a bitch, and because only my feelings matter. And so that's quite an epiphany for her to realize that in situations, it's not just about her. Oh, look at Dr. Nicole's work coming into play in front of these couples, allegedly. Shay says she doesn't want to be hurt again. Well, duh, nobody wants to be hurt again. And Dr. Cole reminds her that being hurt is part of the process. Once you open yourself up to love, you also make yourself vulnerable for somebody to hurt you. So either you just cold-hearted and you don't want love, or you open up and brace yourself, child. So now Dr. Nicole meets up with Otis. Otis, she's asking him, like, how's everything, Otis? And her Dr. Nicole, how's everything with you and Charlie? Otis said he feels like him and Charlie are in a good place. And Dr. Nicole said, well, that's not what she said. And when she said that, Otis physically switched off. He has a visible switch. Whenever someone, especially someone of the female persuasion, tells him something other than he wanted to hear, he switches off. Otis came in there spewing out the very things that she was saying to them during the whole process. Now he wants to sit up there and act like he understands. We've done everything we're supposed to do. Now we're in a good place. And she was like, don't sound like it, not based on what Charlie said. And now he clicked her off. He clicked off, like he physically like twitched in the chair, and he was ready to leave after that. He was giving her that look, like that time he was like, yeah, that's what he starts doing. Yeah, right. Dr. Nicole tells Otis the way they communicate is toxic. And it is. She basically said, you haven't learned anything during this process. The same way you were communicating in the beginning is exactly the same way you're communicating now. And if you don't do any work to try to fix any of those things, then you're going to carry that toxicity into your marriage. And Otis was basically like, F your point of view. Good thing it ain't up to you, what me and Charlie decides to do. Otis knows that at the end of the day, he has more control over Charlie than Dr. Nicole or this process. He's, especially now that they got a baby on the way, she knows she's not going nowhere. Now, I don't know if he knows that already. I'm kind of like, did y'all play this? Like, Charlie, how long was it? Did you found out you were pregnant? When you just kept on. So Otis and Charlie have a moment. They're at their house and they're sitting in the kitchen, and he starts saying all the stuff that he got from therapy. He said back at the jewelry store that he was going to figure out a better way to say things. I stand up what I said. I'm just going to figure out a better way to say things. So he sat up there, and I bet he practiced in the car what he was going to say, how she was going to react. Going over and, revisiting some of the things that Dr. Nicole said, and not to use them in a way that he actually intends to be active. He's just going to say them in order to manipulate Charlie. He was saying things like, I never knew I could love somebody this much. How do people say that? Like, isn't that what you really want? Like somebody in this world of love, and I don't know what is this much, but how much do you think, did you think you were going to love somebody? He didn't, because he doesn't feel. And so, if that's what he thinks it is, then probably didn't think he was going to love. He said the thought of losing her scares him. As soon as he said that, he was like, got him. Because she said that it made her so happy to know that Otis finally said the words that she wanted to hear, and he's finally letting her know how he feels. I don't think he's letting you know how he feels. I think he's letting you know that he heard what you said, and so in order for him to get what he wants, he's now going to say them, because he knows what reaction he wants you to have, and you had the very reaction that he was hoping for. Otis asked Charlie, this part was so ridiculous to me, because I was like, this is how I know they're on bullshit. Otis asked Charlie, how does she feel about being equipped for the long-term future? And she said, we know what we want, and we're going to continue to work on that. Even with the issues and problems, continue to move on, moving forward, knowing what we want, and we'll get to that place. I had to listen to it 3 times. I rewinded it 3 times because I was like, what are we doing? We know what we want, so we're going to keep working towards that. Well, what is it? What is it that you want? Because we don't know what you want. And how are you going to be working towards it? Like, I always feel like when people say a whole bunch of words, and there were any complicated words in the sentence for me to be like, what does that word mean? When people say a whole bunch of words and put a whole bunch of sentences together and don't say shit, I know they're full of shit. What place are you going to? Where are you talking about? Y'all don't even have nothing solid that you're trying to. What was y'all's issue? I don't remember. What was your issue? Was your issue just because you want him to let you know how fly you are? Well, okay then, mission accomplished, I guess, child. I don't know, but y'all had me confused as hell, because even if Vonzo and Shay were full of shit, I understood what they were saying. Like, it wasn't confusing. It sounded like good, like I said, it sounded like good advice. It's just that you got to put that into action. I don't know what plan. Y'all just saying moving forward. I don't know why people keep using that term, moving forward. Where are we going? To the next level? How are we gonna get there? Y'all ain't asking, you gonna answer those questions, and you just said keep working on it. Now I'm like, feel like Shorty, and y'all's asses over here, Kenneth, talking about we just want to look at each other's pretty eyes when we come home from, dealing with the man. Jesus, what's your plan? What's your plan of action? Do you have one? No, you don't. That's what I thought. Fonzo meets up with Shay's dad. I feel like Shay's family, that's what made me come to this judgment about his mother. I had a judgment about her before just based on what he was saying, but when he walked in to meet with Shay's dad, and it was so comfortable and easy, and I feel like Fonzo's mother probably makes him feel uncomfortable. Like he probably goes over there and tries to be careful about pissing that lady off and making her feel, and there's probably no more men over there. There's probably him and all those women running him rampant because he's making all the money. Anyway, I just feel like Shay's family is more welcoming. And my family is like that. I'm glad. Like I could bring anybody to my family, cook out or whatever, and it's all gonna be good. Nobody's gonna ever feel like these people don't like me. You would have to, you're gonna have to act a whole fool for, for that type of energy. But again, Alfonso, you got to be responsible for the situation that you set up for yourself, trying to be slick. You ain't slick as you thought you were. Now you got to handle the consequences. Her dad had answers. Her dad had questions. Alfonso had solid answers. He didn't do a whole lot of stuttering. I don't feel like her father went too deep off into the situation just because she grown. They already been together. They've already been engaged. He did say the first time I felt like y'all weren't ready. He clearly knows about the energy with Alfonso's people over there and his daughter. So he's feeling like he is feeling away. And there shouldn't be any reason why they have get-togethers at their house and his daddy could come and her, her dad and his mom and everybody enjoying, family. The kid's mother doesn't have to come. Like, we don't need to make her a tight part of the family unless it's Christmas dinners and that kind of thing. And they still don't have to cross paths like that. I think it's weird to be trying to be best friends with your ex-boyfriend's mother. Girl, go over your own mama's house and drop that baby over there and y'all be cordial. Stop trying to be a member of the family. Anyway, every question that Shay's dad threw at him, he came back with, as much as he could with what he has to work with in this short period of time. So I just, was peeping how comfortable and the energy was between Fonzo and her dad. And, that made me like that connection, that unit. I think it's easy to not like Alfonso and Shay because Shay's annoying and Alfonso is a playboy. But I do feel like they love each other for real. Like whatever their situation is, I feel like there's love there. Otherwise, he wouldn't be doing all this shit, going on a TV show and all of that. It's not benefit him any, because he already, you know what I'm saying? He already connected to the, to the life. So he doesn't need that show to connect him because he's already there. Kenneth, on the other hand, needs this to be, seen. So here comes part we've been waiting for, child. We're gonna skip through this like real quick, fast and in a hurry. So Otis and Charlie meet up for a proposal, and he takes her to some park somewhere and sits her on a ledge. He didn't come with no flowers. He didn't come with no nothing. Just a ring and a Versace shirt. And he got down on one knee. Well, first they flash back to all the messed up stuff he did. And then I'm supposing the other stuff that he did was supposed to not be messed up, but he's just been creepy through the whole way. So all of it was pretty bad. He said all of that stuff that Dr. Nicole, he reiterated all of that stuff, which, like I said, proves he understands exactly what they're saying, what Dr. Nicole is saying. I feel like he ain't gonna listen to her, first of all, because she's a woman too, and he don't have respect for what comes out of a woman's mouth as it relates to a man. So he ignores her on purpose too, because in his mind, I feel like he's not gonna let her win. Charlie said, yes, we know she's gonna say yes, girl, because she thinks that everything is fixed now. Alfonso, Alfonso was gonna do everything big. He pulls up with the driver. Shay had on this purple, she looked amazing, and in this purple glitzy dress, and You know, they just look like they're supposed to be together, to be honest. He's fly with his, you know, button unbutton. You know, at this point, this is what it is. If we're gonna love Alfonso, we're gonna have to love his titty cleavage too, because that's how he's coming out. That's what he's rolling with. So he picks her up with the car service. They get in the big black car. They have a little giggle poo on the way to wherever. She doesn't know where she's going. They get to a helicopter landing. So they're going on a helicopter ride. Baby mother probably mad. She probably seeing this and she know that her head is exploding right now. So they flash back to angry Shay, about to get her ass kicked with a plate, and you know, sometimes it's weird. Sometimes it's weird because Shay and Otis sometimes give me the same type of energy in a way. Not that Shay is lacking of emotion, because she got too much damn emotion. She should, maybe that's what it is. I feel like Shay and Otis should like ease into each other's energy, not in a, you know, just so he can get a little bit of emotion and she could chill a little bit. You know, they need to Wonder Twins it up or something. Fast forward to the big ring, and you know, at the end of the day, this is what I'm talking about. Otis took his current baby mama to a ledge and bent over on one knee and said, "Will you marry me?" with a cute little ring. And if she's, you know, of course, says yes, because we already knew that. Alfonso has, and not that he had to do it big like Alfonso did it, but he has a black car, a helicopter. She comes to the thing, to the landing, wherever the helicopter lands at. When they get there, the hangar. When they get there, the doors open, there's red carpet, rose petals. Then they're like, he was very thoughtful in making sure that Shay enjoyed every freaking minute of this proposal. You know what I'm saying? Otis didn't even bring a bouquet of flowers. He didn't even bring her roses. He's like, "Here's your ring." And when she said yes, he said, "Thank you for saying that." Thank you for saying that. That's how he responded. Cute. Congratulations on your life, Charlie. Anyway, Shay got mascara running all over her face. Of course, she said yes. And that's how that ended. Next week is the reunion. It looks kind of juicy. I don't know how many how many parts there is to it, but we found out Otis was cheating, allegedly. Alfonso was cheating. We already knew that. Apparently everybody knew except Shay. I don't know why she didn't know. She knew, she just, I guess, heard it for real. Too many details. Now she got to go all the way back to the line of forgiveness and start all over again. Charlie is pregnant. Woohoo! Congratulations on your life. And Kenneth was stealing, and Shorty is free to do whatever it is she would like to do now. Hopefully she'll be moving forward with more discretion in her movement. So that's it. Next week, we'll catch up on the reunion. In the meantime, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.